Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are doing great. Happy Monday. We got 14 matchups on this MLB slate today, so be sure to like and subscribe. Check out all my links in the description below. And if you guys want to become a member, on our way to almost 200 members, so I'd love to have you guys be a part of that team. And yeah, we'll hop in it. Busy slate as we start off the new week here. 14 matchups. Starting with the Philadelphia Phillies versus the Cincinnati Reds. Phillies opening up as road favorites at minus 185. The Reds plus 155 with the over-under at 9. Pitching for the Phillies is Noah Syndergaard with an ERA of 3.96. His last start, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 4 strikeouts. Pitching for the Reds is Mike Minor with an ERA of 6.24. His last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, and had 3 strikeouts. That Phillies coming off back-to-back games against the Mets where they did not score a run. Tough couple games there, but I think it's a great spot for them to bounce back against the Reds with Mike Minor on the mound, who hasn't been that amazing here. Yeah, I'm liking Phillies to bounce back today. Taking Phillies on the road. Next matchup, we have the San Diego Padres versus the Miami Marlins. Padres opening up as road favorites at minus 130. Miami plus 120 with the over-under at 6.5. Pitching for the Padres is Joe Musgrove with an ERA of 2.91. His last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 1 run, and had 4 strikeouts. Pitching for the Marlins is Sandy Alcantara with an ERA of 2.01. His last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 4 runs, and had 4 strikeouts. Padres coming off that 6-0 win against Washington. They're 4-1 in their last 5. Miami 2-8 in their last 10, riding a 4-game losing streak. Did not play good against the Braves in their last series. 1-13 at home. Even with Sandy on the mound, man. I just don't trust this Marlins team. They are struggling big time here. Padres starting to kick things up, playing pretty well. I'm going to take Padres on the road. Next matchup, we have the Chicago Cubs versus the Washington Nationals. Cubs opening up as road favorites at minus 140. Washington plus 120 with the over-under at 8.5. Pitching for the Cubs is Marcus Stroman with an ERA of 4.20. His last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, had 6 strikeouts. Pitching for the Nationals is Josiah Gray with an ERA of 4.81. His last start, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 5 strikeouts. Cubs coming off that 8-5 loss against Cincinnati. Washington coming off that 6-0 loss against the Padres. Not in love with this matchup here, but Washington has been struggling. These teams did play a few games ago, about a week ago. Washington, losing 2 out of those 3 matchups here. I think I'm gonna have to lean with the Cubs on the road. Just not in love with the Nationals. So we'll stick with Chicago in this one. Next matchup, we have the Baltimore Orioles versus the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto opening up as home favorites at minus 160. Baltimore plus 135 with the over-under at 9. Pitching for the Orioles is Kyle Bradish with an ERA of 6.42. His last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, had 4 strikeouts. Pitching for Toronto is Yusei Kikuchi with an ERA of 5.13. His last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 5 runs, and had 4 strikeouts. Baltimore coming up back-to-back tough games for Baltimore. I thought they'd be able to cover, couldn't. So back-to-back games of losing and not covering the way they've been playing. So kind of surprised, but good things always come to an end. Toronto, they just aren't playing good. 3-7 in their last 10, coming off a horrible Cleveland series. These teams did just play a 2-game series. Toronto losing both of those games to Baltimore just about, less than a week ago. We're doing it again here. We're taking Baltimore plus 1.5 on the road. Toronto struggled in the last series against Baltimore, so we'll take Baltimore plus the runs in this one. Next matchup, we have the New York Mets versus the Atlanta Braves. Braves opening up as home favorites at minus 145. The Mets plus 125 with the over-under at 8. Pitching for the Mets is Carlos Carrasco with an ERA of 3.69. His last start, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 9 strikeouts. Pitching for the Braves is Spencer Strider with an ERA of 3.31. His last start, he pitched 2 innings, gave up 4 runs, had 5 strikeouts. The Mets, coming off back-to-back wins against the Phillies, played very well in the last 2 games. Atlanta riding a 6-game winning streak here. Pretty even pitching matchup. I like the Mets plus 1.5 on the road. Coming off back-to-back games of shutting the Phillies out. They're playing great, 8-2 in their last 10. Atlanta's playing good too. I'm going to take Mets plus 1.5. Next matchup, we have the Kansas City Royals versus the Minnesota Twins. Twins opening up as home favorites at minus 200. Royals plus 165 with the over-under at 8.5. Pitching for the Royals is Chris Bubik with an ERA of 5.02. His last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 1 run, and had 6 strikeouts. Pitching for the Twins is Joe Ryan with an ERA of 3.95. His last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 5 runs, had 4 strikeouts. Royals coming off that Dodgers win 4-0. Crazy. That's just what happens, man. Teams that are streaking, they come, Dodgers really just didn't show up yesterday. So Kansas City getting that nice underdog win. Minnesota on a 2-game losing streak right now. Joe Ryan has given up 16 runs in his last 3 starts. I am not in love with that. Twins on a 2-game losing streak here. Yeah, I don't know. Seems risky to pay minus 200 for the Twins. I'm just not in love with the idea of that. So I'm going to take a shot with the Royals plus 1.5 on the road. Next matchup, we have the Oakland Athletics versus the Texas Rangers. Rangers opening up as home favorites at minus 160. Oakland plus 135 with the over-under at 8. Pitching for Oakland is James Caprillion with an ERA of 4.38. His last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, had 6 strikeouts. Pitching for the Rangers is Glenn Otto with an ERA of 5.20. His last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 5 strikeouts. Oakland on an 8-game losing streak right now. They are struggling. Texas coming off a 2-game winning streak against Seattle. Hard to trust this Oakland team, man. They've just been playing so poorly on a horrible losing streak. I just can't trust the Pirates. I can't trust the A's. Can't do it the way they're playing. I'm going to take the Rangers at home in this one. Next matchup, we have the Houston Astros versus the Chicago White Sox. Pitching for the Astros opening up as road favorites at minus 125. White Sox plus 115 with the over-under at 8. Pitching for Houston is Justin Verlander with an ERA of 1.85. His last start, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, had 7 strikeouts. Pitching for the White Sox is Johnny Cueto with an ERA of 2.91. His last start, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 4 strikeouts. Houston on a 4-game winning streak right now. White Sox on a 3-game winning streak, coming off a nice Detroit series. Houston coming off a nice Oakland series. Houston is 10-4 against the White Sox, where they've played, had success. I do like Verlander on the mound. And coming off probably one of his worst games of the season in his last game, giving up 3 runs. Yeah. In a close matchup, I'm going to take Verlander and the Astros on the road. Next matchup, we have the Los Angeles Dodgers versus the Milwaukee Brewers. Dodgers opening up as road favorites at -185. The Brewers +155 with the over-under at 8. Pitching for the Dodgers is Julio Urias with an ERA of 2.49. His last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 1 run, and had 8 strikeouts. Pitching for the Brewers is Freddie Peralta with an ERA of 4.37. His last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 4 strikeouts. Dodgers, sad on that huge win streak, coming off a 4-0 loss against the Royals. Yeah, that was tough yesterday, very tough. But hey, they had a great long win streak, and win streaks always come to an end. Brewers coming off a 6-3 loss against St. Louis. Dodgers 7-1 on the road, where they're playing great baseball here. And I'm sticking with the Dodgers coming off the loss. Julio playing great. We'll take Dodgers on the road in this one. Next matchup, we have the Seattle Mariners versus the Los Angeles Angels. Angels opening up as home favorites at -120. The Mariners +100 with the over-under at 6.5. Pitching for the Mariners is Luis Castillo with an ERA of 2.68. His last start, he pitched 8 innings, gave up 0 runs, had 7 strikeouts. Pitching for the Angels is Shohei Ohtani with an ERA of 2.68. His last start, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 0 runs, had 5 strikeouts. Seattle coming off that back-to-back losses against the Rangers. Angels coming off 2 wins against Minnesota. Seattle is 5-2 on the road against the Angels. Yeah, these teams did have a 4-game series, both teams splitting a pair of wins in those 4 games. It's crazy. I mean, even with Ohtani on the mound, he just hasn't been able to get the support in his last few starts. And I like the Mariners +1.5 on the road. I don't know. I just look at it and I like Mariners as a good value. Angels are just one of those teams, man. It's hard to trust them. Even when they're favorites, it's just very hard to trust them no matter who's on the mound. I'll take Mariners +1.5 on the road. All right, next matchup, we have the doubleheader between the Detroit Tigers versus the Cleveland Guardians. Game 1, Cleveland opening up as home favorites at -210. Detroit +185 with the over-under at 8. Pitching for the Tigers is Drew Hutchinson with an ERA of 4.45. His last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, had 3 strikeouts. Pitching for the Guardians is Aaron Savale with an ERA of 6.05. His last start, he pitched 4 innings, gave up 2 runs, had 4 strikeouts. Yeah, don't let his ERA fool you. His last 3 games, he's only given up 3 runs. Been playing very good. Detroit 1-9 in their last 10 on a 7-game losing streak. Cleveland playing great, 7-3 in their last 10. Detroit on a 6-game losing streak against Cleveland. Yeah, this Tigers team is playing very bad. Very bad. They're struggling. I'll take Guardians at home in game 1. And in game 2, I can't find really any info on this game, guys. The only info I have really is pitching for Detroit is Brian Garcia with an ERA of 2.35. His last start, he pitched 4 innings, gave up 0 runs, had 3 strikeouts. Yeah, that's all I can find on this matchup, guys. There's no lines, there's nothing. So I can't really even make a decision about game 2 here, guys. So I'll just leave this game as a question mark. We'll see who ends up pitching for the Guardians. But I definitely think game 1 is probably the play. So yeah, whenever the info does get released, I'm sure you guys will find it out. But we'll just leave this game 2 as a question mark since there are no lines out currently. Next matchup, we have the Tampa Bay Rays versus the New York Yankees. Yankees opening up as home favorites at -150. Tampa Bay +140 with the over-under at 8. Pitching for the Yankees is Garrett Cole with an ERA of 3.38. His last start, he pitched 7 innings, gave up 0 runs, had 8 strikeouts. Yeah, coming off a great game. He's had a lot of rough games here, but yeah, finally getting a solid game on the mound. Yeah, Tampa Bay can't find out who's pitching for them, so we'll see who ends up pitching on the mound for the Rays here. Tampa coming off back-to-back wins against Baltimore. Yankees, man, they're 2-8 in their last 10. They're struggling big time. Coming off a 3-0 loss yesterday against Boston. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, it's just so hard to trust the Yankees. I just think they're not bettable right now. I just don't think they are. We'll see who ends up pitching for Tampa Bay. If it's anything insane and the pitcher's just giving up so many runs, I would lead the Yankees. But for now, we'll see who ends up pitching. Taking Tampa +1.5. It's just a much safer bet with how poorly the Yankees have been playing. So I'll have to lean with Tampa +1.5. And the last matchup, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks versus the San Francisco Giants. This game, I can't find any lines either, but I do have the pitching info. Pitching for Arizona is Madison Bumgarner with an ERA of 4.13. His last start, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 5 runs, had 8 strikeouts. Yeah, he's given up 13 runs in his last 3 starts, so he's definitely been struggling. Pitching for the Giants is Alex Cobb with an ERA of 4.44. His last start, he pitched 5 innings, gave up 3 runs, had 7 strikeouts. Arizona coming off back-to-back wins against Colorado. San Francisco coming off that Pittsburgh 3-game sweep. Arizona 1-14 on the road against the Giants. They just have not had success against the Giants. It's kind of insane. And, you know, with that stat, it makes me like the Giants even more here. So I'm going to take the Giants at home, where Arizona just has not been able to beat them in a long time. We'll take Giants at home in this one. That's going to be it for the video. Good luck with your picks and parlays on Monday. Hope you guys all cash out, and I'll see you guys Tuesday. Have a good one.